everyone, welcome back to another video for Phantasy Star Online Blueburst. So today's video we're going to continue the side stories in episode 1. So as a reminder, last time we finished Dr. Osto's research, and I mentioned that there was a subplot that we were going for in this playthrough, so we're going for the Sue subplot. So we told Sue our name, which means that we can't get the Soul Eater in this playthrough. If you do want to see how to get the Soul Eater, I do have a guide on how to get that on my channel. So we're not going to do Waterfall Tears because that is part of the subplot and we can't do this quest yet for the subplot. Similar thing for Knowing One's Heart as well. So the next one I'm actually going to do is Unsealed Door, which is kind of a follow-up to Dr. Osto's research. So the client is the 3 scientists again, and it says, we want to see sample Beta 772 mentioned in Dr. Osto's records. Hello Taker, it's me, Mum. Don't you remember me? I was in white when you met me before, so he was one of the scientists. I asked you to find Dr. Osto's data, remember? We examined his data and we know what he was studying now. He was doing research on unknown biocells. Wonderful. A test sample called Beta 772 is especially interesting. We believe Beta 772 is the key to solving the mystery of the animals. So by this, I believe he's referring to the phenomenon on Ragol where a lot of the animals on the surface have become violent, and obviously some of the monsters in the caves have been mutated as well. So I want to see it. I want to see Beta 772 with my eyes. Dr. Osto wrote that they lost control over it and it escaped underground. There's a possibility that it's still alive. Go with me and find it. This is a summary of Dr. Osto's data regarding Beta 772. You can read it if you select it from the quest board. Got data 1, 2 and 3. First of all, I want to check his computer. Let's go. So this one, Mom actually joins you. Now, there was a bit of a meme with this guy on the, I believe it was on the Dreamcast versions, where he was essentially useless and really, really difficult to actually keep alive during this quest. Thankfully, they kind of fixed that in later versions. I agree that Dr. Osto's research was amazing, but I think he was too arrogant. Creating a new life form is dangerous. It might even have some bearing on the Pioneer 1 accident. You're not wrong. Maybe Dr. Mom is correct. Or maybe he isn't. Nobody knows. It was a worthwhile trip looking for the truth. So again, in this quest, Dr. Montague does show up here as well, so this is another quest that you can use to convert body parts. So either Dr. Osto's research or Unsealed Door can be used for it. Where is Eleanor? I haven't finished her maintenance yet. It seems that her emotional range is just a wee bit too wide. I want to try a few more patterns for her. So same dialogue as last time. So with that, we'll head back to the mines. So let's check that quest board information that we got as well. So data 1. I collected cells from the captured animals. Vitality, procreation, adaptability from the DNA samples, all A rank. I started several tests with them. Beta 772 reacted remarkably. These characteristics were found after Beta 772 contacted other animals. Number 1, fusion. It takes cells of other animals to evolve. 2, transplant. It transplanted cells into other animals. Animals that acquire Beta 772 cells behave differently. Beta 772 cells affect even insects and plants, everything. So this is referencing all the enemies in caves, so things like the poison lilies have all been affected by Beta 772. It also makes them prone to aggressive behaviour. Then we've got Data 2. Beta 772 suddenly began to grow right after the earthquake yesterday. I noticed that it began self-replication. Cell count increased. It's already over 2 meters. It will become roughly 10 meters in 1 month. So clearly it was growing very, very quickly. And Data 3. Beta 772 rampage when we tried to move it into a bigger cage. 23 staff members were injured, 6 killed. Beta 772 ran into the drain pipe. It must be captured immediately. Based upon the data we've collected, Beta 772 will contact other creatures in order to breed. I cannot forecast how it will evolve. It is extremely dangerous. But clearly not a good thing that has escaped. Bear in mind, in the course of a month, it had grown from 2 meters to what they believe to be 10 meters. So you'd imagine it's probably fairly big by now. I still maintain that Dr. Osto is one of the true villains of PSO. He was messing with things that really should not be messed with. Okay, so once we get to this room, we run into Sue again. It's you again, Taker. The second research? Hey, let me give you some advice. It's not a good idea to be involved with Dr. Osto's research. Be careful of black paper, especially of the Black Hound. So, obviously, if you've played through some of the quests, you might know who Black Paper are and who the Black Hound is. The game's obviously not really telling you at this point, but it's clear that whatever Black Paper's objective is, it kind of conflicts with whatever the Dr. Osto's research objective is. So what we need to do now is we need to go back to Bernie. Now this you only need to do if you're doing the subplot for the Sue side story. So if you're not doing this, you can just continue with the quest. Yeah, so come around this way and we'll talk to Bernie. I think... Have I met you before? I'm not very good at remembering people, but I think I know you. Is she your friend? I mean the girl who was talking to you. Could you tell me what she was talking to you about? I'm just curious. So here we get an option of whether to tell Bernie about what Sue told us. If you want the Raggle ring, as far as I'm aware, you have to say sure. I could be wrong on this. It is kind of hard to find concrete information on this now, but as far as I'm aware, you need to say sure. So sure. Sue, no, I mean, she gave you a warning. Do you know what black paper is? Underground traders who sell weapons and parts of androids and slaves. No individual runs it. It's a syndicate that runs a black market. Black Hound is an android that was created solely for battle. And if you remember, a long time ago, right at the start of this series, there was a specific quest where someone says almost those exact words. So in the battle training quest, after you complete it, Zid says to you that he's never met such an intimidating android, and that it's like the android was built for battle, and he's referring to Kirik. I heard that Pioneer 2 had one. I don't know what you want, but be careful if you want to stay alive. Just one more thing to tell you. That girl is a member of Black Paper. Be careful. So Bernie's obviously looking out for you. He's kind of worried that you're getting in over your head by getting involved with Black Paper. So we now know that Black Paper are... They're not necessarily a terrorist group, but they're more of like underground traders. But they're very much rooted in the black market of Pioneer. You know, as Bernie said, they trade things like android parts, they trade slaves and things like that. So they are in some very, very murky operations. And Sue is obviously a member of that. Now, we don't really know what Sue's involvement with Black Paper is. We don't know if she's like a senior member of Black Paper. Bernie said that obviously there is no specific leader of it, but there is a Black Hound, which is Kirik. And at this point, we don't really know if there's any relation between Sue and Kirik in the story. So once you've done this in Unsealed Door, if you are doing the Sue subplot, you can just then press on and finish the quest. So once you get to this point, we're back at the computer room again. So again, Ostor High Lab number 1. Biotechnology R&D lead researcher. So we found the computer again. Does it still work? Please check the drain pipe from the mine. You read about it in the data, didn't you? We need to find where Beta 772 has gone. Access denied. Subcomputer. Accessing. Searching pipe structures. I see. According to this, the drain pipe is located somewhere above here. Perhaps the water is sent through the drain pump. The water seems to be running through the pipe above this area. Taker, what do you think? So conveniently we have another portal here, which actually takes us up to Mine 1. So we're basically looking for an access to the drain pipe area. And Mom thinks that the access point is actually from above Mine 2, so we've had to go back up to Mine 1. There's a bit of a strange quest, this one, in that you're basically doing mines backwards. So we're just travelling through Mine 1 at the moment, and then Mom has just stopped us. So if Dr. Ostor's memo is correct, Beta 772 must be quite large by now. It has the ability of self-replication. So really in this quest, all Mom is doing is kind of paraphrasing what's in the notes that he gives you at the start. I guess it's for if you forget to read the notes, it reminds you of the important bits from it. basically everything that he's telling us really is stuff we've got from the quest board already. So the original shape of the Beta 772 looked like an arthropod. Like a centipede. I like how he, elaborates on what an arthropod is, just in case you don't know what an arthropod is. So again, if you've played PSO before, you probably have a very good idea of what Beta 772 is. So once you travel through Mines 1 a bit, you get to another portal, which you can probably tell where this is going to go. Bear in mind, we've gone through Mines from the deepest part and we're working upwards. You can probably see what we're kind of working towards if you've played through the areas in the normal rotation. So we'll go into the underground channel. Oh my, it's huge. Taker, good luck. Who, me? I think I'm going to play dead for a while. So Mum basically just lies down the middle of the raft. So Beta 772, as you could probably tell, is Durrell Lair. So when Durrell Lair escaped containment, it basically went on and it basically uses the tentacle things to transplant its DNA into other animals and mutate them, which is why everything in caves is mutated. Because obviously from this waterway, Durrell Lair could get to the caves and basically completely mutate everything there. So really, everything that Durrell Lair has done was entirely the fault of the Pioneer 1 scientist, particularly of Dr. Osto, because it was all as a result of his research that Beta 772 even existed. It's a monster and nothing else. We made a big mistake. What should we do? Even Dr. Osto couldn't control it. We can't do anything. But... oh, yes. Yes. There's another genius aboard Pioneer 2. Yes, that's a good idea. We have to ask him about that monster. Taker, this is enough. Let's return to Pioneer 2. So Mum obviously realises that this was entirely an avoidable crisis. Everything that Beta 772, Durrell Lair, did was entirely the fault of Dr. Osto and his researchers, because if they hadn't have done the research they did, none of this would have happened. So we'll head back to Pioneer 2. The fear that Dr. Mum experienced might be the only truth on Ragol. I'm scared. This is when it starts to kind of hit home that Pioneer 2 are starting to realise at this point that Pioneer 1 have obviously been dabbling in things that they really shouldn't have been. And even the scientific teams on Pioneer 2 are starting to get scared now. We'll ask Dr. Montague to research that cell. It's too difficult for us to handle. So this is basically how Montague gets involved in the story more. After Dr. Osto has obviously disappeared, we don't know where he is at this point. It's assumed that maybe he's dead because he was aboard Pioneer 1. You know, at this point, you could theorise as well that potentially he died when Durrell Lair escaped, but we have some records as well about the escape, so that disproves that. So we can only assume at this point that he's assumed to have died maybe in the explosion. But it's really hard to tell. There isn't enough information about Dr. Osto at this point to make a decision on it. Obviously, if you played the main story, you know that Osto was involved heavily with episode 2 as well. To be frank with you, I didn't think I was going to make it back. His study exceeds what little we know about the science. Thank you. Go to the guild for your reward. So that is Unsealed Door. And again, just a reminder that Dr. Ross's Research and Unsealed Door are the only two quests in the game where you can turn enemy body parts into weapons. If you complete them both, then you'll need to either keep one of them open on a different difficulty or complete all of the quests, because when you've beaten all of the side stories, they all unlock again. And then you would have to just do it that way. So if you do beat them both, just bear in mind that you will have to either choose a different difficulty for creating body parts, or you will have to unlock all the quests again. So with that, we'll hand in Unsealed Door. So next up, now that we've completed Unsealed Door, we can actually backtrack slightly. So you probably remember that we didn't do this quest Waterfall Tears, and that's because we needed to progress the Sue subplot a little bit before we can go back and do this one. So now that we've done that, we can actually do Waterfall Tears now. So this is from a hunter called Crow. It could also be potentially Chloe. It depends on how the Japanese is written for that, but it could potentially be a mistranslation of Chloe. And it just says, find my sister. She's a hunter who disappeared recently. Nice to meet you, Taker. I'm Crow Wains. Have you heard about the missing hunters? My twin sister Anna and I are hunters. Anna joined a hunter group that went to Ragol and disappeared. I've been looking for her, and I've also asked the guild for help. But the guild hunters have turned up missing. Of course I'm worried about them, but I need to find Anna first. Please be careful. Good luck. Somebody said they saw a girl like Anna in the underground cave. Oh, I forgot to tell you. We're twins. She looks just like me. I'm so worried. I hope she hasn't caused any trouble. So we're clearly trying to find another Hunuel. You're the third hunter who's taken this quest. Let me advise you. Just be careful. Are you investigating the disappearance of Anna and the missing hunters? The twins are orphans. Poor girls. They're still so young. Troy, the younger twin, is mature for her age. But Anna is... Well, I hope you find her soon. Yes, I know that the hunters are missing. Yes, you hunters must be careful when you go on quests. Yes. So you may notice we have an extra NPC on Pioneer 2. So we have Sue. Oh, hi. I didn't expect to find you here. What? Do you have anything to tell me? I should probably just make a quick note, actually. The music in Pioneer 2 at the minute is the Valentine's lobby, just because of the time of year I'm recording this. So once you get to this part, if you want to do the Sue subplot, you need to select About Black Paper. So yeah, I want you to tell me about Black Paper. Black Paper? I know it. They're traders who sell weapons and parts of androids and slaves. No one actually runs it. It's a syndicate that runs a black market. Does this sound familiar? That's all I know about it. And? Is there a reason you asked? Can I leave now? Okay, so now we've spoken to Sue, we can now go and actually start the quest. So Sue obviously is not going to tell you that she's a member of Black Paper, because obviously that would be stupid of her to tell you that. Hey, someone is coming. Okay, understood. So we know that obviously a lot of hunters have gone missing, and as we open the door, we straight away see a Huniwell who looks very much like Crow, so we assume that that is Anna. And she immediately goes for you. So we'll take care of her ranger friend, and we'll also take care of her. She tapped me first, you saw it. Ouch. So why would Anna, assuming that is Anna, why would Anna be attacking hunters from Pioneer 2? So what we need to do now is we need to advance through caves and we need to find another NPC. Obviously we're looking for Anna for the actual purpose of the quest, but for the Sue subplot we are also looking for another NPC as well. So for the purposes of this, for the Sue side quest, you do need to find another NPC in Cave 1. It is a bit of a trek to get to them. But as you'll know, if you do the Soul Eater side quest, this is the quest where you'll first run into Kirik. If you do the Sue side quest, though, you won't get Kirik in this quest, you'll get someone else instead. So through here we have another NPC. And it's Bernie. Hey, it's you. You're safe. Guess you haven't met the Black Hound face to face yet. It's an assassin of Black Paper. What did you do? Why are you being followed by one? Perhaps you knew or saw something regarding Pioneer 1, right? You don't look like you're even aware of it. You look so confused. Do you want to know more? So for this part here, I believe you need to say yes. Again, really hard to find information on this now, but I think you say yes here. It's strange, but I trust you. Let me tell you about this. As you may know, Black Paper isn't just a normal group of traders. It's another facet of the 10 Nation Alliance. Black Paper also has assassins that are used by various organizations. Are you still confused? In short, Black Paper is under the same people that worked on the Pioneer project. That's everything. But I suspect that these accidents on Raggle are not coincidences. And I know Black Paper is looking for something underneath the ground. That girl too. There must be something there. Perhaps you're getting too close to it. Whatever it is, it must be holding the secret. Be careful anyway. I'm working with a guy to crack open this case. It would be great if you could help us out. See you later. So it's still kind of cryptic from Bernie, but we now know that Black Paper are actually working under the same jurisdiction of those who are responsible for the Pioneer project, which is really interesting. Specifically that they use assassins, because that then means that we know that it was the Pioneer, well, it was the government on Coral originally that created the Pioneer project. which was the project to actually make Pioneer 1 and Pioneer 2 and explore Ragol. We now know that they have assassins. So it's almost like they're trying to silence certain people and stop people from speaking out, which is a really interesting development in the story, really. As for the 10-nation alliance that you mentioned, I don't know a whole lot about that, to be honest. I'm going to assume that it's something to do with Coral, which is the original planet that we're from in this game. So as you probably know, we originally were from Coral. Coral became basically untenable as a place to live. And because of that, we made the Pioneer project to look for another planet. Now, the reality of that is there is probably a lot more to the Pioneer project. I don't think it was ever intended as just a way to find a new planet to settle on. I think there is a whole lot more to it. But I believe that the 10-nation alliance is probably an alliance of nations from Coral. Again, I could be wrong on that. It's not really something that's been explained so far. But we now also know that Black Paper are not just any old, trader group, that there is a lot more to them. And that their activities don't just end with trading, they actually have hired assassins as well. So I can see another NPC on the map, actually. Okay, so we have a humor. This guy just clearly does not want to talk to you. He's staying extremely quiet. So it's odd that there are these other hunters down here that are seemingly not really in a rush to find Anna. We also saw that the first time we encountered Anna, there was a ranger with her as well. So you do start to question at this point, is Anna actually lost? Is she actually lost in the caves, or is there more going on? So again, I can see another NPC on the other side of this door. I'm tired of being a lookout for the daughter who might betray me. So I get the impression from that he's maybe been hired as like a guard to look after someone. And given that Anna was running around with another person as well, is it Anna that he's guarding? So we have another NPC, it looks like it's Anna again. Just a tip when you're fighting these NPCs, if you're using a class that uses Resta or anything like Shift or D-Band, don't use them when you actually fight them. Make sure you heal or buff up outside the room, because if you use Resta against an NPC, you'll actually heal them. So again, we see Anna. You've gone through all the mines I set up. So yeah, the reason that there were so many traps in this was because Anna had been basically trying to stop people from chasing her. If you're so strong, do you have a lot of items on you? Yes, you do. They're all mine. So she tries to attack you. I mean, I'll give her a chance. I don't think she's going to be very successful, to be honest. Yeah, I've given you enough chance now, I think. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. What was that about stealing items? I'll never do this again. I promise. Crow, help me. What? Crow asked you to come find me. Really? Crow, I miss you. I want to see you. So she immediately runs back to Pioneer. Now, normally, if you were doing the Soul Eater side quest, there would be another fight after this through that door. That is not there if you're doing the suicide quest. So we'll go back to Pioneer 2. It seems that you and the twins had a lot of trouble. But anyway, you all came back safe and sound. That's good. Where are the missing hunters? Yeah, so you might think, oh, good point, where are all the other hunters? Well, they didn't seem particularly keen on coming back, did they? The trader gives me Mizetta when I bring him weapons and items. Hunters that I defeated? The trader's friend took them somewhere. But I don't know where they are. So if you haven't guessed already, basically she's got wrongly involved with black paper. And she's basically being used as... Basically what she's been used for is a thief to try and steal items from hunters. So obviously when you encounter her at the end of the quest, she tries to steal your items from you. Then she would take those items and sell them. She would give them to a trader and she would get money for the items that she gets. She's basically being used by black paper. But she doesn't know what happens to the hunters that she defeats. Now there's a few things that could happen, but we do know that black paper does have involvement with slaves as well, so potentially that could be what happens to them. I knew I shouldn't have let Anna go without me. To tell the truth, I knew that Anna must be the cause. I went there to stop her many times, but she never appeared before me. I think she just enjoys taking weapons from other hunters by force. Sorry, please forgive her, she's just a child. I'll promise I'll find the person who corrupted her and the missing hunters. That's okay, I think I know who tricked her. Thank you very much. Please visit the guild to get your reward. So that is Waterfall T is completed. And I think that'll do it for this episode of the PSO side stories, since Unsealed Door was quite a long one. So we'll end that one there. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider liking, subscribing, or joining as a member on YouTube. You can also follow or sub over on my Twitch channel, which is Section Skyline. I have a Discord, which I'll leave a link to in the description. And I'm also active on X and Blue Sky as well, which again is both Section Skyline. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider that. There will be another episode of this coming probably in about 2 weeks' time, where we'll try and finish this little arc of the black paper section. And then we'll try and get a few more of these side story quests done. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I will see you guys in the next one.